Welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and coming up in today's newscast, the IDF conducting ongoing arrest operations and raids in the terrorist hotbed city of Jenin. This after yet another Palestinian terror attack, this time in Tel Aviv, leaving 3 more civilians killed and nearly a dozen injured. Meantime, the 3 victims from Thursday night's terror shooting, Tomer Morad, Eytam Magini, and Barak Lufan, laid to rest Sunday afternoon. And finally, amidst all the terror-related chaos, Israel's government increasingly under threat of collapse. One coalition member after the next seemingly looking for the exits. A frightful weekend beginning with terror in Tel Aviv Thursday night, now culminating with ongoing operations across Israel and Judea and Samaria. Authorities promising to exact a heavy toll from terrorists and their supporters. ILTV's Asaf Nissan reporting.
Israeli forces carrying out multiple operations this weekend in response to the latest wave of Palestinian terror that left 14 dead in just 2 weeks. Starting in Jenin, troops entering the village to arrest potential terrorist accomplices and maps terrorist homes for demolition.
כל רוצח ידע שנגיע אליו. כל מי שמסייע למחבלים צריך לדעת שהמחיר שהוא ישלם יהיה כבד מנשוא.
Further, as part of the heavy toll, Israel indefinitely closing the checkpoints around the city, especially as the terrorists who conducted the deadly shooting in Tel Aviv on Thursday and the stabbing on Morad last week both came from Jenin.
ראיתי את אביו של המחבל מסית לעוד אלימות, מתגאה בבנו הרוצח. ראינו את החגיגות ואת חלוקת הממתקים בג'נין ובעזה. אלה האנשים שאנחנו מתמודדים איתם. לא, זה לא יחידים.
However, clashes with local Palestinians and Islamic Jihad militants breaking out. For the second straight day of the IDF arrest operations, Palestinians opening fire and throwing explosives, forcing IDF to respond, killing at least 1 and injuring several. The IDF, meantime, confiscating weapons and arresting several militants. No Israeli troops were injured. Meanwhile, in Yabad, the village from which the Beersheva terrorist comes, likewise raided over the weekend, and the IDF killing 1 suspect who threw an explosive at them and arresting 8 involved in planning terrorist acts. The IDF confiscating a cache of illegal weapons, ammunition, explosive devices, and even IDF uniform. And then, Palestinian rioters in Shechem, or Nablus, vandalizing the holy site of Joseph's tomb, damaging the gravestone itself, among other things. And finally, Sunday morning, Israeli soldiers firing at a suspect near the checkpoint by Husan after the suspect approached the soldiers and ignored calls to stop, as well as warning shots into the air. The suspect later transferred to the hospital for further treatment.
Joining me now with more on the uptick in terror and Israel's response, journalist and senior research fellow with the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, Yoni Ben Menachem. Yoni, it's great to have you with us now. A lot of attention has been paid to Jenin. What more can you tell us about the significance of this refugee camp?
It's not only the refugee camp, it's also the city of Jenin and a few villages that are surrounding Jenin, like Kabatya, Yamun. These are all became bases of terrorism. They are full with armed terrorists, Palestinian terrorists. They have a lot of weapons.
Why these cities more so than others, though?
It's almost a tradition. If you remember, 20 years ago, the IDF occupied Jenin and the refugee camp and cleared the place from the terror nests that were in the camp. The PA, the Palestinian Authority, they lost control during the last 2 years over this area gradually, and Israel warned the Palestinian Authority, you have to take care of the situation, the security situation in Jenin, because the situation is deteriorating and the military groups are gaining more power. You have to arrest them, you have to confiscate the illegal weapons. And the Palestinian Authority did not want to confront.
To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.